The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Aereo, the best place to grow and manage your real estate media business online at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com.
Hey, before we get to today's episode, we have something really exciting. Everyone knows that we are doing the iGuide giveaway, or iGuide is doing the giveaway in conjunction with Upmarket Pod. And I know this is not a PMRE episode, but you know what? We got some special stuff going on today. And as everyone knows, PMRE tickets went on sale. Early birds sold out immediately, but there's still a chance to get a free ticket to PMRE, and that is by entering the iGuide giveaway. Go to goigguide.com/PMRE. But even more exciting today is you missed out on the early birds, or maybe you didn't, but we have the early bird drawing for the iGuide giveaway. And here with us is the Vice President of Marketing for iGuide, Skylar Lawrence Bell. Skylar, what are we giving away today? We're going to draw a name and give out something cool.
Reed, thanks for having me back. Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. We are going to be giving away one Planix Pro camera system, as well as 3 months free of iGuide Instant.
Oh, I love this. This is fantastic. So this is just to whet the appetite for the giveaways that we're going to give away later in the summer. You have a random name generator, and a name is going to come up, and there we go. Right?
You've got it. We've got 100 of entrants. We are running the random generator now. Drum roll, please. Jared Spink of Hive Media looks to be the lucky winner.
I actually, I don't know Jared personally, but I know Jared follows us on Instagram. And let's be honest, we had to re-record this because the first name we pulled did not meet the requirements for the giveaway, which is you got to go to goigguide.com/PMRE, enter your name and your Instagram handle there. And you have to be following both iGuide and Upmarket Pod on Instagram. And so the first winner was not following either of us. So sorry to say, we had to pick a new winner.
So anyone that has entered so far and isn't following us, do so now. And if you are going to enter the contest for your chance to win one of the tickets, be sure you're following both Upmarket Pod as well as Go iGuide on Instagram.
Yeah. That's right. And then so also, and we're going to get to the episode really quickly here, but Skylar, you have one more cool thing that you wanted to talk about.
I mean, as a thank you to all the Upmarket Pod listeners, and those that have participated so far, we are giving away an exclusive discount. So 10% off a Planix Pro camera system, as well as 3 months of iGuide Instant for free. To take advantage of this, use the promo code UpmarketPod on the iGuide store. And you have from today, essentially through to June 15th to take advantage of the special promo.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that coupon code, that promo code, by the way. It has a nice ring to it. And then the other thing is I know, there was a discount for early birds for PMRE, but look, if you enter this giveaway, iGuide is going to send you a $50 discount code for your PMRE ticket, your full price ticket. So it's a great deal. So get in on the giveaway. Go iGuide.com/PMRE. And Skylar, thanks, man. Why don't you come back for the iGuide ad a little later in the show?
Will do. Thanks, Reed.
Coming to you from the makeshift Upmarket studio in the beautiful Ojai Valley of Southern California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. And Mark, this is a little nighttime recording session, and Mark, I trust, is asleep. He can't stay up late. He can't do nighttime podcasts. Chelsea, she's off the clock, so we're not going to have Chelsea here. Although we do have a very special guest, and it's a lot of people. You probably, if you're a podcast listener, which if you're listening to this, let's face it, you listen to podcasts. We have, we're kind of doing a little podcast crossover here. We have one of the hosts, the co-host of the Shooting the Shit podcast. It's Rachel Ann Adkins. She is also the owner of the Focus Media Collective, a real estate media company out of Seattle, Washington. And Rachel Ann, I wanted to, come on, there's so many reasons I wanted to have you on the podcast, but the first one is I listened to one of your episodes a while back on VAs, and it really inspired me. And then we got a VA not because, we had already been thinking about it, but it kind of pushed us over the edge. Can you lay out for us what your VA does for you?
Yes, my VA does a ton for me. He's amazing. So I hired him on originally when I was starting to create an online course, which was like 2 years ago. And he was going to help me set that up and set up the email marketing. And like, he was trained to do websites and social media, and he knows Photoshop and video editing. So it was like kind of a hybrid of like helping me with the course, helping me with graphics, and then helping me upload and send jobs off to clients. Cause that was kind of a pinch point for me. I had an admin that was working for me. But she kind of priced herself out of a job because she kept asking for raises. And I'm like, dude, I can't pay you like $25 an hour to upload. That's crazy. Right. So yeah, so I found this VA who was much cheaper, got him trained up. So he does all my morning upload work. He creates the graphics for our social media. He emails clients when Matterport's about to expire. He follows up with them for that.
That's a good one.
He labels all the virtual staging. He's made all of our graphics for the course that we have coming out in like a week. That's exciting. A little plug there for you.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about that later.
What else does he do? He does like video editing for me. So like,
but he came to you with a ton of like skills, obviously, because you didn't. Yeah.
Then
because that sounds like
part of the requirement. Like I needed someone that knew how to do video editing, knew Photoshop, knew how to do graphic design, knew how to do web design, that kind of stuff. And he's amazing. Like I'll sit there forever in Canva trying to create a social media graphic. Like for instance, I did a headshot pop-up and I made these banners. They're like 6 feet tall, and I tried to design them. I spent like an hour on it. And then I sent him it and I'm like, what do you think? He goes, let me work on that. And he sent it back like 10 minutes later. And I'm like, dude, that looks so good. Thank you. Like, why didn't I just send this to you in the first place? So,
right. Yeah. You would think by now you would know all this, but so we do have a VA now, and I think it's going decently well, but I think we've tried to give him stuff that's not, that's a little, where it pushes him a little. It's not like, he's not like rising to the occasion, say, for like, the video editing that we want. Obviously your VA had a bunch of skills. How much did you have to train him on stuff, or was he just like already like pretty pro level?
He's pretty good, honestly. Like he does my reels. So like I'll send him the clips and then the text that I want over screen. I mean, he can't do any of the writing of copyright and stuff. So I have to send him all that, and then he'll just put it together, and then I just review it and I'm like, hey, cut this out. Like I'll critique it, right? Be like, make this shorter, cut this out, change this word, blah, blah, blah. So he's pretty good. There's been a couple times where I've sent him like clips that I want him to put together for a reel and they don't turn out great. And I just kind of scrap it. I'm like, okay, we'll just, nope, you're not getting it. It's fine. And the problem is they're just too long and too repetitive, and like, yes, I could communicate that and get it done right, but it's almost like I can literally jump into CapCut and put it together in 10 minutes and it's fine, for our
sometimes
social
it's
media,
easier just
basically.
to do stuff. Stuff yourself.
Like these aren't client videos. He's not editing any of our client videos. This is all just for my social media stuff that I do. So, and then like the course videos, he goes in and adds all the captions that are in our font and then our little logos in the corner. And then he'll add any like transitions. I have a YouTube channel too that I've like started building out this year and just realized that's like so much time I don't have, unfortunately. So that's again on hold, but I have some good videos in there for brokers. And he did edit all those and he did a really good job. Like they're fun, they're engaging. Like he added cool transitions and like zooms in and out, to emphasize things. So he did a good job on that stuff for sure.
One of the reasons you were on my brain about VAs is there was last year a panel on VAs at PMRE, and you were one of the panelists, right? Because it wasn't about VAs. It was about, what was the panel?
It was like, I think it was 5 ways to build your business or something.
Oh yeah. But you ended up talking about it. Yeah, that everyone talked about VAs up there because basically everyone who had grown their business was also utilizing VAs. I mean, it was just like, it seems like there's a common theme there. And so that, piqued my interest of like, oh yeah, maybe we should really think about that. But it sounds like you are paying your VA like a monthly retainer, and he's basically kind of working for you more or less full time.
Yeah. I mean, he's not full time, but I pay him full time. And yeah, he does work probably consistently 4 to 6 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Actually, Tuesday through Saturday, because he uploads on Saturdays for me. But he's really on call. It's like whenever I need help, let me kind of rewind because he was doing more in the business. I hired an assistant about a year ago, and she just started full-time this month. And before this month, Jan was kind of my go-to whenever I had anything throughout the day.
And
that
Jan is your VA.
Jan's my VA. Yeah. So like anytime I needed a little fix made for a photo or like something edited out, I would message him and have him do it, or like, can you put this order in, things like that when I was running around. And now that I have Casey, my assistant, and she's jumped in more, like I just give it to her and have her do it. And it's just kind of those like not higher level, but it's just, she's more accessible. Like Jan kind of goes to bed at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Of course.
And then he works on videos and graphics and all of our social media stuff for us, like at his own leisure. And we worked that out. I'm like, hey, you don't need to work, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I don't have enough work for you to sit there and wait for me. Right. So here's your to-do list. Like we use ClickUp to organize all of our like admin tasks. Okay. Yeah, ClickUp's fantastic. So it's like a task management software. And I can assign tasks to him. I can add notes. I can add attachments. And there's like a time tracker on there. Like it's pretty incredible, honestly. So he has like a list of tasks in there that he can work on. But like when I don't have anything for him, I don't expect him just to sit around and wait. And it's like 3 a.m. for him.
Yeah, no,
like,
totally.
Go to bed, have a life.
Yeah, no, but because basically we're having our VA kind of do our quality control pass, and so our editors get stuff in at starting at 6 a.m. our time, and that's already kind of later in the that's evening for our guy. And then, by the time 9 a.m. rolls around, it's like, okay, we're slacking him and like, there's no response, which I totally understand. I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, I get it, man. You gotta go to bed at midnight. I mean, or whatever. It's like, it's like, I don't begrudge him, sleeping.
Yeah.
That's, but I wish, and I hope we can get to a point where we actually, feel like we can give him more stuff to do, and we probably just need to start trying it and just trying to guide him a little bit more. But that takes a lot of time for us. I mean, it's just always like, oh, we got all these other things to do. It's hard to devote that time to be like, well, here's the nuances of these social media videos that we want to produce. Can you edit them and then critique them? And I mean, it's just like training any employee, whether they're virtual or not, is a time consuming process, to say the least.
Yeah. I utilized Loom, Loom. It's like a screen recording software. It has a little picture of you in the corner, and then you can walk through. And I have a whole gallery. Like Neil and I were talking. I'm like, Neil, I have like 16 courses just in my Loom folders. Like I have so many tutorials on how to do everything in this business. It's insane. And that's what I used to train him. So it was like, I'd record a Loom video. This is how you do a sky replacement. This is how you add fire to a fire pit. Like if needed, right? Like our editors do that, but there's times when like the editors are sleeping and I just need it done. So I trained him on all of that too. So yeah, Loom was huge for me. I did like a daily brief for him when I brought him on and just gave him like Dropbox folders to practice on, and then he'd like, send me the final images, and then he'd Loom video and show me what he learned and how he's doing it. So I knew that he understood the process, which was really helpful.
Nice.
Because the training is, and for me, even just to watch those Loom videos back took time, right? They're 20 minutes long, of him. Right. I mean, he speaks really good English too, which is super helpful. Yeah. And he's a good communicator, but yeah, it definitely, you have to take like 2 steps back before you can take like 5 steps forward. So it's worth the investment in your time to get these people trained up and get them trained right so that you can free yourself up in the future. But don't do it during busy season. That's just a disaster waiting to happen. Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, and of course now we're knee deep in busy season. So we've kind of, I think that ship sailed for this year in terms of getting him all trained up on stuff. And I think Mark has recorded some Looms for some of our staff or done maybe not on Loom, but has done some screen recordings. And, I would be useless doing that because I don't know how to do anything. I just see.
Loom's so easy. If I can do it.
No. I mean, I can figure it out, but I don't know how to do a sky replacement.
Oh, yeah. I did all my own editing for like 2-3 years.
So did I, but I never learned how to do a sky replacement. That was back before that was like fashionable. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I was like,
all right. How long have you been in this business, like in real estate photography?
Way too long. Like 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
It's Yeah, it's a long time, and I've kind of talked about it a little bit. Like I would say for a long time, it was just more like, oh, I'm just doing this on the side to make some money. And so it was like, I just like, I learned how to do it one way, and it was like, I didn't have any interest in learning another way. Cause I'm like, well, I'm not going to be doing this in 6 months, and then cut to years and years later. And they're like, oh, I could have saved so much time had I just had an interest in learning new things and how to be more efficient. So I'm paying my penance by doing the podcast and like actually learning how to make our business more efficient and, all that. And I never had any interest in the technical side of it. That's never been my thing at all. So
I know I'm totally not into gear. Like people just nerd out on the gear, and I'm like, I don't even know what my gimbal's called. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I have a Ronin, but I haven't used it in months because probably a year now because I just switched to the easier version. I'm like, easier, lighter. I will do that.
Yeah, exactly. They want to talk about camera bodies. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, that sounds great. Have fun with that. So, but the thing is, I was even like when Mark and I merged the companies, I was still shooting on like a 5D Mark III. And then Mark's like, he has like a mirrorless and he's got these wireless triggers and everything. And then, and I kind of used his gear and I'm like, oh yeah, this is way better. Yeah. There's something to this actually, figuring out the latest and best gear, or not even the best, but just like modern technology rather than something from 15 years ago. So I'm just going to add that to Mark's to-do list to start making a ton of Loom videos about how to do some.
Well, just have a Loom library too and keep them and just put them in like VA training, because you never know when your VA isn't going to work out and you're going to have to hire a new one. And then if you've already done all the work training them and you have all those videos just saved on your Loom account, like it's going to be easy. You just send them those and then it saves you all that time. So, Loom it all, like Loom everything you do that you possibly think that you could offload. That's another thing too. It's really hard as a CEO and as a business owner to like get the mindset of like, I'm okay handing this over to someone else. Like it's hard to let go of that control. And like the biggest problem.
Speak for yourself, lady.
Oh, please. But like the hardest part is like, okay, it only has to be 80% as good as what your standards would be. Even 70% is pretty darn good. Like I'm a flippin' perfectionist when it comes to like cleaning images and the quality checks and stuff. I'm ridiculously like going in and cleaning up like that one little leaf that's on the driveway. It's stupid. But like, that's why in my opinion, that's what makes us so great. That's why people keep coming back and we charge high prices. I'm like, we have to do that stuff. Like this is not.
Well, here's the thing. I that's how I always was too. I mean, not that I would replace skies, obviously that was above my pay grade, but yeah, if there was a leaf in that thing or, whatever, I would erase that. But then as time went on and as, I got more and more busy. And of course I'm doing all the editing at this point. Some of those things started to slip and I know, and then when we sent out to editors, a lot of those things would slip. And then when we, merged with Mark, it's like, we're just, we're doing 15 shoots a day. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just, we're not going to erase every leaf. And the thing I've noticed is that the more I've let go of that stuff, the busier and more successful we've gotten. So like, I would always erase like the pool cleaner or the hose in the pool. But then we don't really do that anymore. And not a single person has complained. And we're going to have our busiest year ever this year. So it's like at a certain point, you're like, well, does it really matter? I mean, it may. And of course, if you're shooting architectural, if you're doing that, you got to have it all cleaned up but the day-to-day real estate stuff, I mean, as the saying goes, it's good enough for real estate.
Yeah. No, that's very true. That's very true. But yeah, it is hard to let go of that. I am still constantly like on him about the horizontals being off. Like drives me up a wall.
The verticals or the horizontals?
Horizontals. Like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, and they're off by like a tiny little fraction. I just see it and it sticks out.
Yes,
and I'm
of course. I get it. Yeah.
I can't. You got to fix it. Anyways, it's fine. I'm just a little ridiculous. But I've now trained my assistant to do the quality check. And she actually is overseeing the virtual assistant now. I gave that role to her this month.
Wow.
I was like, okay, you're going to oversee Jan. You're going to like, let's let him. We've been checking every single job between the two of us, me and Casey. We've been checking every job, quality checking, and like picking him apart to get him trained where he needs to be. And in the last like 3 weeks, we haven't even checked one. He's still sends us to jobs when he's done. He thinks we're checking, but we're not. And
Right.
I just popped in to check a couple. I critiqued one of our new shooters' work and I found like 5 mistakes again. I'm like, dude. So it's like, honestly, I don't know how many times I can tell the guy like what to do to get him. And
Right.
he even got a big 27-inch screen because originally I'm like, maybe that's it. Maybe it's his little laptop screen. He just can't see it, you know,
Yeah.
but he has the same size screen as me now. Like he should see all these things. But anyways,
Right.
it's that whole 80%, like 70-80% is good enough. Like our clients aren't complaining. You know, the
Exactly.
things they're worried about is like, you know, the shop or the garage was labeled as a shop and it should be labeled as a garage. Like that's just a Kubicasa thing, you know?
Yeah,
Like that.
they're worried about having the photos quickly. I mean,
Yes.
that's the thing they're the most worried about, right? And as long as they're at the photos are at like a baseline level of competency, you know, and obviously if you can be a little above that, it's great. But I think I always think that the things that we as photographers care about do not necessarily correlate with what our clients care about. I mean, some of them do. I mean, there's no question about it. Some of them are very, very picky and very particular about their photos. But I feel like for the most part, they're just not, because it's just like, it's one more, it's like a thing they have to check off the list. Okay, I need the photography. And okay, now I can make a flyer. Now I can do this. Now I can do that. And so it's just like, they're just waiting for the damn stuff, the material.
Yeah, exactly. And they just don't really, I mean, yeah, we are like the last step in the process. So by the time they get the photos back, they're like, whew, we're done. Like,
Yeah, they are so ready
Time
to get
to
that
launch.
property on the market, right? Yeah, exactly. Where do you draw the line with the VA? I mean, how much, I mean, it's kind of like when he proves that he can do something, I mean, are you just, and I know you just actually said that you've pulled back a little because you've given stuff to your US based assistant. But I mean, is there, I mean, like how much of your business do you think could be run overseas?
Probably like 40%. Because the day-to-day customer service is what my assistant is for, my full-time assistant.
Right.
Like, and she also helps create all the social media, which is great. And she does a lot more. She does our news. She does a ton of stuff. But I think the communication with our clients is really important to me, that we're available and you can get a hold of us and we'll get back to you within 5-10 minutes, right? Like that's important to me. And I don't feel like that communication would not happen with a VA. So there's a place where a VA works great, like 20-30% of your business, you know, and then the other, you know, 70-80% is really needs to be an American based person, like more of the face, the forefront of the customer service, the speaking to the clients, the answering the emails, a little bit more like personalized, you know, with some personality versus just like a robot answering or like a templated email going back to them, you know, that kind of thing. So, and we just implemented open phone into our business, like full-fledged open phone.
All right, perfect.
Loving it.
Okay, good. I've been preaching that for a long time.
Yeah. And Casey's now answering the phones, which has taken a while. We did many role-playing phone calls where I'd like randomly just call and be like, hi, I'm Broker Sally and I have this cool property. What do I need? And she's like, oh my gosh, Rachel. She's so shy, like introverted. Just So it took a lot of that. And just, you know, it took a lot of time to get her there, but she's there. Like she now gets it. She knows the business inside and out. Like she can answer questions that she couldn't answer 6 months ago. She's getting it. But I think there's a big portion of your business that like you should not be doing. And that is the morning uploads, right? Creating social media graphics, like not your job. You're a photographer. Go shoot the house. Whatever else you can outsource, like your editing, the uploading, the marketing, the accounting, like get people in place. Obviously, you can't do that right off the bat because you're not making enough money. But once you start feeling that pinch and you're like, like, you know, I'm doing all the things and I'm overwhelmed. I'm working 10, 12 hours a day. Like that's when you need to start thinking about like, okay, how much is my time and my mental health really worth? Because you will burn yourself out really quick and it's not, you know, you'll compromise your family and your friends and like, you will not have a life if you don't have more people helping you with this business as it grows.
Well, for sure. And I mean, look, I even outsource doing the photography. I mean, I don't do, you know, I guess it's not technically outsourced.
Me too. It's great. Isn't it? Reed, you and I are like two kindred souls right now, honestly, because I'm like, I would be fine if I never shot another house. Like, I hate to say that.
Well, I know.
Like,
well, that's, I mean,
I'm
you
feeling
even,
like
I think You even, I think you were a little more public with that now, but I think you told me that a long time ago, like kind of privately.
Yeah. I was I'm kind of over it.
come on over, Rachel. It's fun over here. I don't know.
Not
Maybe someday
all of us can just sit and be the CEO every day. Reed.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky, and obviously I'm so lucky because, I have Mark and it's someone who knows the business as well or better than I do. And who, so we can really rely on each other. And so it's like, and, with you, and I mean, with most other people, I mean, as the sole owner, it's just a different deal than Mark and I have. And, but the downside of that is we have to split all the money. So
True.
it's
I'm like, how I want to know what you guys make, but I'm not going to ask you on the podcast. I'm just curious because I'm like, gosh, I'm looking at like what I make. And if I were to, I guess if I merged with another big company that's the same size as me, it really wouldn't disrupt your income too much, right?
We were effectively the same size. So I'm not going to tell you on the podcast what we made.
And you
because some people, that's no, but we, and we've thought about it before because it doesn't really matter if people know, but it's not, I feel like it's either going to be not enough or too much. It's never going to be the right number for people because, we're in an expensive area. So so then when we complain about money, they'll be like, but you made X amount of dollars last year. And it's like, well, houses are also.
Here's my mortgage. Like I'm in Seattle. I feel your pain.
Here is I don't even have a mortgage because I can't afford to buy a house, But then people are like, oh, you only made that much? Oh God, I thought you guys knew what you're talking about. So it's just like, it's a no win. So, maybe we can share numbers, afterwards. But that is the thing that is the hard thing is because we do effectively, the way we have it set up is we do effectively split everything. And so it's, and the nice thing is we were kind of a similar size when we first merged. So it's worked out, but it also means we have to pull 2 owner salaries out of the business. And that's a lot to pull out. So, like this year's been fine, but last year was tough because, we have our expenses and kids and everything else. And it's like, well, we can't really go down from where we are. And so it's like, man, it was a little close to the bone for, some months last year for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
So in terms of you just hired a VA and you have Chelsea, like your Chelsea is like my Kelsey or Casey. So, so how much is your VA doing that Chelsea was doing? Like, is that relieving her some of the stress from her and allowing her to do more high level jobs?
It's actually been, I mean, we've gone back and forth because we basically, when we first hired Chelsea and when it was 3 years ago when we first merged, Chelsea was our first hire when we came together, and very quickly she took over the quality control pass and uploading the photos and sending them out. And then after like a year or a little more than a year, she was just like, it was just, there was so much of it that it would take up so much of her day and it would take away from so many other things. And she was like, I just don't like this. And then we basically had Nikki, one of our shooters who was new to us, to give her more hours. And she, she likes doing like erasing, garbage cans out of photos that she really enjoys that. Yeah. So we started having her do that. But then it goes back to, well, it was costing us a bunch of money. And then as we got busier, it was keeping her out of the field. And I was like, no, we need her out shooting. And it's like, it's not working. And then it ended up that kind of Mark took it back over. And that was not good. Because he shouldn't be doing that. Just like you had said, he shouldn't be doing that. So that was the thing that we offloaded first to the VA. And that's kind of where we've kind of ended up with the VA at this point. So that directly did not free up any more of Chelsea's time. Okay. But what we've done with Chelsea is as we've kind of talked about in some recent episodes, is we've tried to expand her role and broaden the stuff that she's doing. So it's like, so we are trying to carve out more time for her because she's now our social media creative director. And then she's also heading up our new branding side of our business that we're in the process of launching. So we do kind of need our VA to take over some more stuff, because I do think hopefully as this part of our business grows, Chelsea will be kind of stepping away from more of the admin stuff. And if she steps away from it, there's only one person left on our team who would have to do it. And that's me. And everyone knows that I don't want to work.
I'm with you, man. 100%.
So we will, we'll have to figure out what we can give to our VA so your handy list that you kind of rattled off in the beginning, I think will be a good starting place to go with them. So. Yeah.
I mean, any way that you can set up systems or like templates for them to pull from,
right,
to be able to make your job easier, like use them up.
Yes.
Yeah. Because they're eager to work. Like they want, is your guy on salary or is he hourly?
No, just hourly. Okay. So, but yeah, he would, I think he would like as many hours as possible.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
So I want to give it to him. Well, look, not only Rachel, I know you know a lot about VAs, but man, appearances are such that you know a lot about social media. So I'm excited to pick your brain in our social media sidebar. And you know what? That conversation may carry over to the last half of our show. But so we're going to take a little break. We're going to come back with our social media sidebar, more with Rachel after that. And then, of course, Rachel's promised me she has a special action item that she's going to share with all of us. So I'm excited to hear that. So, all right, we'll be right back.
You know, one of the things I love about Aereo is their smooth interface. I always like floating around in there doing stuff, and I'm like, it's appealing to look at, and I'm a looks guy. I love looks. So, Aereo, they look good, but you know what? Under the hood there, they have a great personality too. So Aereo has all the stuff that we use and need to grow our business. So you got scheduling, you can pay, you can do all this stuff. Come on. By now, we've done so many of these ads that Aereo is the best place online to help streamline and grow your business, and your clients love it. You'll love it. Go check out Aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. Use the code Upmarket. You're going to get 15 free bonus listing. Aereo. I wonder if I could do a floor plan of my mind. I'm not sure that I would actually want to do that. I don't know what that would look like. There'd be so many like nooks, crannies, like different levels, basements, attics on top of attics. Yeah, it would be a mess. But you know what? Second Floor app could probably make sense of that mess, because Second Floor app is one of the best ways, or the best way, that you can make a floor plan very easily on your phone. So I don't know if they quite have the technology to do mental floor plans, but I know if you just have a house or a business or whatever, and you want to make a floor plan, it's just going to take you a few minutes. You just walk around with your iPhone, you scan, and instantly you're going to have a floor plan with GLA, and it's a floor plan that you can deliver to your clients immediately if you so choose. If you want to upcharge them to have immediate delivery, that is something you can do. Not only is it fast, but it is accurate. It uses the LiDAR on your iPhone. Come on. Second Floor app, you got to go check them out. And that's all spelled out, secondfloorapp.com/upmarket for a free month of service. You can do 1 million floor plans in that month. Well, I don't know if you have quite time for 1 million, but you could do hundreds if you so choose. Do it now. Check it out. secondfloorapp.com/upmarket.
Okay, social media sidebar. We are Upmarket Pod across all social media. I mean, you know it by now. But more importantly, rate, review, subscribe to this podcast, check out our YouTube channel. You're looking at some pretty amazing stuff right now of me in this dark room with bad hair.
High quality video. You have
high quality
today,
video.
Reed.
Rachel looks good. She doesn't have her usual studio setup that she does for her podcast. Our podcast is apparently not good enough for that. But
okay, family coming into town. It's also my guest room. So I have to like convert the whole thing when I have guests stay. So sorry guys. You get the living room.
Yeah.
I have the fire going.
That's nice. That's nice. So whatever, do all that stuff. Upmarket Media on if you want to see our flagship business. Rachel Ann, there's 100 places to find you on social media. Just let's pick a couple where people can find you.
Well, I have 5 Instagrams. My main one.
I think I follow 2 or 3 of them, and I'm like, and so I just feel it's like my feed is Rachel Ann constantly.
Are you just sick of seeing my face? You're like, this girl.
Oh God, no, not at all. No.
Never.
God, no.
I feel like she never shuts up. No, so Focused Media Collective is my main page, right, for real estate photography. Probably the most exciting one for listeners to follow. I also have the masterplan.tv, which is I'm a host of the real estate and lifestyle adventure show over there on the Master Plan, which is super fun. And then I also have Shooting the Shit with Rach
I was going to say
Neil. That is our podcast one, which we've been pretty absent from, but we're about to get loud. We're about to get proud. So watch out.
Okay.
We're going to be all over social coming up real soon. And then I have Rachel Ann 1122. That's my personal. I also do affiliate
I didn't
marketing.
even know that one existed.
Yeah, that's like you'll see a lot of chickens and just like
I'm not going to follow that one.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't love it. Dom would definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, of course. Well, I feel like I have a lot of Rachel Ann in my life already, so I gotta I'm gonna. Well, maybe I could use more. I don't know. Maybe I'll follow it. Come on. Okay. I do want to, and I think, just for our listeners, we're going to, I think the last half of the show we'll kind of devote to Rachel's social media strategy, because I think there's a lot of instructive stuff there. But I did want to touch on in the sidebar, kind of 2 of your more, and well, not unconventional, but you mentioned, obviously, I mean, we can talk about the podcast a little bit because that doesn't really fall under social media, but I am curious to know with the master plan. I've watched a little bit of it. It seems like, you're hosting like this travel show.
We have 40,000 subscribers now, which is insane. It's totally blown up since we did a $50 million listing out in Austin, Texas, that we featured on that episode. It's pretty awesome.
But so what is it about it that, is that more enhancing your personal brand, or is it really, is there a way that you're tying it into the Focus Media Collective?
I'm really not. So it's hard because people are seeing, it's a completely different business that I've started with 2 other co-founders. And it's really fun for me to do. It's like pushes the boundaries for me a little bit, like pushes me out of my comfort zone. We get to travel, there's just a little bit more substance to it. There's a lot more creativity. So I'm really enjoying Masterplan. It's just not consistent enough to replace my income yet.
Okay, sure.
We'll get there, but it's going to take time and a lot of effort. And all 3 of us that are owners in the business have full-time jobs. So it's like trying to do so. Yeah. So that's kind of a thing. But what it has done for Focused Media Collective is just shown people what we can do for them in terms of branding and lifestyle photos and stuff like that. I have had a lot more requests for a broker commercial or, lifestyle and branding photos because they've seen the show and they've seen what we've produced. And they're like, can you do that for me? And I'm like, yeah, 100%. Like, it's not through Focused Media Collective. It's through Masterplan, but yes, we can do that. So it's
so Masterplan is a production company that you're one of the owners of. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you produce the Masterplan TV or YouTube show.
The show. It's a 12-minute long show. And then we create like 6 to 10 social media shorts that they get that are pulled from that episode. The whole time we're filming the episode, we're doing BTS, so behind the scenes footage. The client gets the folder of all of the BTS footage where they can hire their VA to put together little clips. And then I do a lifestyle shoot over the course of the 3 days of filming, just kind of behind the scenes, photos of the town, photos of the broker. So they're getting it's a social media strategy behind this. Like you have all probably seen The American Dream, right? Which is,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't even know what American, okay, well, that's good for us. It's basically very similar to the master plan, but ours is like American Dream on steroids.
Coincidentally.
Theirs is on TV, or it was. It's not broadcast on TV as much now, but it's basically like a real estate show where they go out in the community, they do a community spotlight, they tour a couple listings, and the host is like, hey, I'm the host of American Dream, and then they do their little tours. So ours has a 2-minute tour of a home, and then we do Live Like a Local, which we go out in the community and showcase the community. But we incorporate a little bit more like of a fun flair to it. There's always some kind of competition or an adventure that we go on, or we're like sledding down a hill in regular clothes, or we're,
So, okay. But so you say you have a client for this. So people are paying you to produce an episode that focuses on them, because you are focusing on a different broker in a usually like resort kind of community.
Correct. Yeah. So we've done, like Las Vegas, we did Austin, Texas, Nashville. We just got back from Florida, Destin, Florida, and 30A. And we tailor it to their niche and what they're all about. So it's like we want to highlight who they are as a broker. Like the one we just did, they sell a lot of short-term rentals. So that's like 70% of the people who live in Destin. It's short-term rentals, and they're vacation homes. So it was fun. We did kind of a house hunters feel. We pretended like Abel and I were searching for another short-term rental because we have one. It was like, and now I'm like, well, the numbers actually kind of work. Like we might need to go buy a $1.5 million vacation home in Destin, Florida.
I think, you absolutely should.
That would be amazing.
I mean, that's,
100%.
No problem.
I mean,
just do it.
Makes sense. Totally. Yeah. So anyways, so it's tailored really to their brand. There's a lot of pre-production that goes into it. A lot of planning and discovery to figure out how are we going to showcase this broker and really make them stand out. And we want to showcase more of their personality and who they are, which can be difficult to pull out of people. So there's a lot that goes into these episodes, and we fly in, we film for 3 days straight, and then we fly out. I mean, it is 12-hour days. There is no time for fun.
And so the client is just fronting the whole production cost as well.
Yes, and then we have sponsors. We can have up to 3 commercials within the episode, or the broker can opt out and say, I don't want that, and then they just pay a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, and so how's the podcast going?
The podcast is great. Neil and I love doing the podcast, but we are very inconsistent, as most of you have noticed. And it's just purely because we don't have time.
Of course.
Because I'm doing 16 other things, right? And the one thing that we've really been focusing on the last month and a half is the online course that we're coming out with that is going to launch next week, if I can figure out how to build a dang funnel.
Well, who knows? Next next week we don't know. We don't know. I don't know when this episode comes out. So yes, it should be out by the time.
It's probably launched. So it's adding headshots to your business. So it's all about how to shoot headshots, how to add like a headshot pop-up event to a brokerage presentation. So a lot of you are going out and doing brokerage presentations, but if you can actually work with these brokers and do their headshots and talk to them, and you get a touch and feel each one of them, you have a better chance of converting them into your clients. So that's exactly what we're teaching. And we teach outdoor headshots, indoor with flash and indoor with constant lights. There's a marketing kit with social media reels and posts. There's email templates for them, like cold emails to get these kind of teed up. We do a whole segment on marketing, like how you pitch this to brokers. What you should say. What to bring. There's a whole checklist on what to bring to the headshots, like how to make them feel comfortable when you're shooting them. So I've been doing portraits for 11 years, and Neil's been doing it for 20 years. Like he did headshots in LA. I looked at some of his headshots that he did from back in the day, and I'm like, dude, these are freaking incredible, Neil. Like, wow, you should do more like this more often. Like, right. So we both have a lot of experience in that area. So, and it's something that has kind of carried us through the slow season. I always push my lifestyle photos and my headshots during November, December, because it's like, it's crickets, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. All right. Well, that was a lot of talk about not social media during the social media sidebar. So we'll come back for actual social media talk, and we will be right back.
Oh, all right. Lucky we have Skylar here. Skylar's going to give us a little nutshell. What's going on with that guide?
Hey, Reed. So many of you probably are familiar, but those of you photographers in art, at iGuide, we're known for our precise floor plans, 3D virtual tours, and what many of our photographers love today is our quick capture camera system. So you can capture 3,000 square feet in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, we just gave one of those away earlier in the show.
In terms of talking with many of our operators today, what we continue to hear is really the iGuide advantage, or what they love. There's really two things. One, pay per project. So you're only paying for spaces you shoot and capture. And then second, you own your data. So you always be the owner of your data. You're able to actually download it offline as well. But people continue to highlight pay per project and your data ownership.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I mean, those. I like both of those things. I love owning my own data. What a rarity these days. And isn't iGuide even more than that? I'm going to throw to you for this, too. Don't you have some kind of lead magnet system that or something? I don't know. Explain it to me.
Yeah, we do. We recently launched what we're calling iGuide Lead Magnet. Essentially, it's a new feature within the iGuide viewer, allowing potential buyers to contact that listing agent directly through the viewer. Benefit, to you, Reed, as a real estate photographer, is that it's an added value or feature that you take to your clients. You're now generating leads for your listing agents through the iGuide viewer.
Wow. All right, cool. So we're gonna go. So to check all that stuff out, we can go to goiguide.com, right? And of course, once again, get in on the stinking giveaway. We already gave away the quick camera the system earlier in the show, and there's going to be 2 all expense paid trips to PMRE. So get in there. goiguide.com/PMRE. Skylar, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Reed. Excited to see all PMRE this year.
All right, we're back with Rachel Ann Adkins of the Shooting the Shit podcast and, of course, Focus Media Collective, where if you are following Focus Media Collective or any of Rachel's other 14 Instagram accounts, you will notice that she posts very consistently and a lot. So what is your strategy with social media? Because it does feel like you have one, and like you do your Tip Tuesday and you do, I feel like your social media, there's a lot to it, but it also does seem thoughtful, but it also sometimes seems like you're just like, oh, this is fun. And I just post it.
Yeah. So I've been on Instagram for, I think 5 years now, posting consistently. I had a social media manager who was helping me with it. She was posting 3 days a week, and then I would just fill in with stories and my Tip Tuesday. It's honestly like having Tip Tuesday, which I have to show up every Tuesday. It's usually in my stories and it's in my car, like off the cuff, just hold up my phone. It's stupid. Sometimes they're like dumb tips about stupid stuff. Sometimes it's really good and insightful. Sometimes it's from a book I'm reading that's like super spiritual or something.
Right. Well, yeah, it sounds like our action items.
Yeah. Yeah. Like sometimes they're really well thought out, and other times you're like, I don't know what to give a tip on. So I'm just going to like pull something out of my,
Yeah. Ass.
Yeah. That. I don't know. Can we swear on here? No.
Yeah. Well, you put a swear word in the title of your podcast.
I know. We did. Which I have had some people say like, I just don't like that. I'm like, no. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not changing it now. It's too late.
Yeah.
We're too far in.
Yeah,
anyway, so my strategy is to entertain, inspire, and educate my audience. Like one thing with social media, you have to think about like kind of reverse engineer it. Okay. Look at the accounts that you follow and kind of think about why you follow them. Like what are they giving you, or what are you getting from following them that makes it fun to watch? Is it a lot of times it's either inspiring, it's entertaining, or you're learning something. It's educating. So we try to incorporate those 3 things into our content that we put out every week. And we are posting, well, we were doing 3 days a week. I think we were up to 5. Now it might be down to 4. I don't know. We do anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week that we're posting. Casey, my assistant, and we plan it together. We sit down for 2 hours and kind of outline it and figure out what I need to do, what she needs to do, what Jan needs to do. We put it all into ClickUp. It's all organized by date. There's a concept. There's a spot for the raw footage. There's a spot for the final image, the spot for the cover photo, the spot for the caption, and then a checkbox, what needs to be done still. It's pretty intensive. I actually stole that from my social media manager that I had because she had a great system for organizing and she used ClickUp. So I just kind of copied what she had. But yeah, it's a lot of brainstorming. I'm surfing on Instagram, and anytime I see a reel that I like that kind of catches my eye and stops the scroll, I'll send it to my assistant and be like, let's do this. And then she writes it down, brings it to me 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. And she's like, oh, you sent me this reel. And I'm like, what reel? She's like, remember this one? And I'm like, oh, you're the best. Thank you. Because you know, it's in one ear, out the other. There's too much going through for me to retain it. So having her to help me organize all of this has been key. So we've been doing this since January together. And it's we're finally getting to the point now. We're working on June content, and it's just so much easier. It's getting so much faster.
Well, but I was just kind of thinking about it as you're talking, and a lot of the content though most of it I feel like features you, right? You are the face of Focus Media Collective, and I'm also getting a general sense that you're also wanting to kind of pull back, and it sounds like already you've kind of stopped shooting, or not, fully stopped, but you're not doing as much. And I know you just had hip surgery, and so you were out for a month. Are you seeing, are you thinking about featuring more of your shooters in your social media, and how are you going to manage that with you being so aligned with the brand of the company to then not be the one out in the field?
That's a very good question. And that is
thank you.
Yeah. That's honestly one of my biggest problems, because I'm if I'm going to remove myself from shooting and kind of just be behind the scenes, should I be the face of the business? But I am going to be the one out networking. I'm setting up the brokerage, presentations. I'm doing the headshot pop-ups. I'm going to the events. So there's a place for me, but yes, I do need to get my team involved more. The problem with the team is we don't see each other ever.
Sure.
Very rarely do I actually see my shooters in person. I talk to them on the phone, I text them, but to actually schedule a time to go out and create content with them, it's that's something I'm going to have to be more conscious of. Yeah.
And that's, and I think what we've been doing, and we're not planning out the content like you are, is I think Chelsea just kind of gave an edict to our shooters to be like, hey, every day, just try to take a couple behind the scenes photos or a short video, and then just upload it to our shared Dropbox folder. And then, so we have some content, and, if you can get a selfie, that's great. And so that way we can at least do, hey man, Marco's doing Twilights again, and so it's and it's just to kind of I do think Mark and I kind of, not in the same way you are, but we need to be the faces of the business, but we're very vested in having our employees be kind of recognized on our social media. And so that's why, we even did, when we're posting, hey, this cool house that we shot, if Mark didn't shoot it, it says, photos by Nikki, photos by Marco. It's always we're trying to just make our clients more comfortable with the fact that it's not going to be us out there shooting.
Yeah,
so
100%. And that's we did do a team shoot in the fall, and I've been using that content a lot more, which is nice.
Right.
And then I feature one of our shooters every month. And then they go out in the newsletter too when I have a new shooter or whatever. But the thing is, most of my shooters right now are contractors. They're all going to be switched over to employees. Any new one coming on is going to be an employee. So I'll have a little bit more freedom. But even my brand manager who does my website, we just redid it again. And I got a new video for the homepage, and she was like, let's remove all the footage of the team and just have you. And I'm like, no. She's like, but if she goes, remember last time when one person left and then we had to redo the whole video? And I'm like, that's fine. It's okay. I need to show the team. The point is that I have a team, and
yes, exactly.
we need to really be pumping that to the masses so they understand that when you hire Focus Media Collective, you're working, you're going to have different photographers. You're not going to have the same person, and it's not going to be me, most likely.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to have a 6-month lag on like having the team member on your website, and I think people get it. I mean, it's like it's not a big deal. I mean, so. But but in your world, you're planning out your content so much that, and it fits your brand that that your content is not just like one behind the scenes photo. It's like a whole, the whole deal. So yeah, you would have to kind of plan. Oh, they're gonna, they're shooting here, so I'm gonna show up, and they can stay at the shoot, 20 extra minutes so we can do this content. I mean, yeah, it gets complicated really fast.
It does. I have asked him, I'm like, hey, like the last team meeting we had, I was like, hey guys, like take a photo of you out in the field. Anything you see that's cool or unique, like please take a picture, send it to me. I'll post it on our stories, or put it on your own story and tag me and I'll post it, stuff like that. So that worked a little bit. Occasionally they'll do it, which is nice. Colin's pretty good about twilights because he's usually just waiting around, for it to get dark. So exactly. He remembers. Even myself, like I've shot 3 houses this week and I completely forgot to take any BTS and put it on my story. So my stories have been a lot of just like reposting old stuff or like quotes or sharing funny things that I find, on my story. Cause you want to do like 3 to 6 stories a day, which sounds like a lot, but it really, once you get in the habit of it, it's pretty easy to do. Really. You're just documenting your day and your stories. You're not curating like salesy posts or anything. It's really just like moving the veil. What's this term? Like opening the window.
Okay. Opening the window.
Aside,
so you can
opening the
curtains.
In. Sorry. It's late. It's past my bedtime. Read.
It is. I know. It's 3 minutes past your bedtime.
We're good. I can hang in there. But no, anyways, so stories are really about just letting people in and seeing the real you and what you're all about. And that's why I love the Tip Tuesday, because it is so raw. It's just like me in my car. Sometimes I'm like half put together, like whatever, this just is who I am, and it's really connected well with a lot of people. I've had clients that say, I watch your Tip Tuesday. I see you on social media and I just feel like I know you just from social media. And I'm like,
of course,
I've been saying that for years, but it's like real and it just keeps happening. I'm like, this is so powerful. It really is.
And how much business do you think is being driven from your social media?
So we have not done like direct outreach to like cold DMing or anything. We're actually going to be starting that soon. But I think it's more about like, I get new clients, probably like 1 a month from social that reaches out. A lot of people about lifestyle photos, honestly, which is weird because I don't post that much about that. But yeah, it's all about staying top of mind and staying in front of my clients and then promoting their work on our page. Like I share a lot of the reels that they'll post. I'll share them on my story, and I have 3,000 followers, whatever, that most of them are brokers. So they're seeing that listing. So like they appreciate that. And you can do a lot of social proof. So it's like just really staying top of mind and showing up consistently, I think has helped to keep our clients with us, and when they go to book another shoot, they're like, oh yeah, Rachel, I see her all the time on social media. She's still doing photos. Like I'll hire her,
Yeah. Of course.
Still doing it.
Yeah. And I think our agents, also like it when we're posting their listings on our social media, because we have, thousands of followers and like every, almost every realtor follows us. So it does kind of amplify what they're doing. Yeah. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. And that, maybe that should be my action item. I have one. Got it. I have like 2 other ones, but we can only do one.
Okay.
So,
you're going to do the well, I mean,
one.
You got a better one. Okay. That I just said.
I'm gonna write this down.
Oh, she's writing it down. Okay.
I'll forget. No.
Well, so Rachel is right now writing it down to take action. So I think that does mean it is time for our action items.
Our action items today are sponsored by Pixel CRM. Pixel CRM is the only CRM that is designed by a real estate photographer for real estate media professionals. Go to pixelcrm.com/upmarket and you will get a free month of service. Hey man, we're still using Pixel CRM. We're still loving it. We're still just scratching the surface. It's always every week we try to like, what's one more thing we can do with Pixel CRM? And it's so many different things. So go check it out. Pixel CRM, take the tour, get on a call with Pete. He'll show you all the stuff that Pixel CRM can do for you and your business.
And I'm going to go first because I cribbed mine from you. Actually, I had a different one, but then I thought of this. So I want all of us to take a moment to think about what value we are giving people in our social media. Like you had said, look at other accounts. What are you learning something? Are you being entertained? Are you whatever? What is the value of what you are posting? What is that value to your audience, right? And your audience is potential clients. It's probably some of them are not potential clients, but it's like, what is the value that we are bringing? And I think if you can define what the values that you want to bring, then I think that can inform the content that you produce, obviously. Right? Yes.
No, that is such good advice. I worked with a creative director on some design shoots I did like 7 years, like when I first started 7 years ago. And he always was asking me like, how are you adding value? And I'm like, what the heck does that even mean? I was like, I don't know. I do good work. And he's like, no, he kept pumping that in my brain. And what you said is exactly on point. And now I know what that means, fully embody that. And I've grown into that, but it was somebody brought it to my awareness, 7 years ago. And it's something that it is so important to have something you're giving. You've got to give some kind of value to people or they aren't going to care. You can't just go on and sell. Gross, right? People see right through that. Yeah. So give some stuff away. I love that one. Right. Good job, Reed.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, all right. All right.
Okay, ready for my action item?
Rachel Ann Adkins, please.
Okay.
Lay it on us.
So I'm talking about how you should be sharing your clients' posts on Instagram, right? Okay. But we need their handle, their Instagram handle. So I don't know if REO has a questionnaire at checkout, but HD Photo Hub has a little section where you can ask questions, whatever
You're throwing shade at our sponsor. Oh, this is going great.
I mean, you guys do that, right? REO can do that. If they can't, they should. Sure. I know. So how do I access the property? Which direction does the house face? Well, one of our questions is, what is your Instagram handle? We will tag you. So if you don't have that question in there, add that in there. And then whenever someone puts an order in, go follow them on social media and don't just follow them. I think this is what I said at PMRE. But go in and like 3 or 4 of their posts, comment on it, send them a message and say, hey, I saw you just put an order in. It's really nice to meet you. We're here on social media. I'm glad we're following each other now, and then now you have a new follower. It's your new client. They're seeing what you're doing. It validates the work. And when they post a reel, they'll tag you, you'll tag them. Their friends will see it. Your friends will see it. It's just a beautiful recipe for more clients.
It's a win. Yes. So. That was a good one. And I like it. I love an action item that is so simple.
Right.
And that,
everyone can do that.
So, okay. Okay. You passed the test, Rachel.
Yay! I'm winning.
All right. Well, look, that an hour just went by just like that.
I know.
Yet another hour of our pathetic little lives is gone. And
I'm glad I got to spend it with you, Reed. I genuinely do adore you, Reed.
Thank you.
You're so fun. Every time I meet
thank you.
I
know. I've always had a lot of fun, and that's why I finally got you on the podcast. And then, so Rachel, please tell me you are going to be at PMRE this year.
93%. I will be there.
Ooh, that's not 93. There's too many outs in that for me. So
I told Neil if he goes, I'll go, and if he doesn't go, I'm not going. So it's really in the ball's in Neil's court. But
all right, Neil, if you're listening to this,
we're going. My husband and I are going. I'm bringing my husband this year, so we'll be there.
All right.
I was gonna
good.
possibly bring my assistant, but I don't know if I can swing that because she's full time now.
I know. Yeah, it's expensive to bring employees. Trust me, I know. All right. Hey, Rachel Ann, again, thank you so much. And I want to thank our listeners. Check out all the stuff Rachel Ann is doing. And I really appreciate you coming on. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in a few months.
Thanks for having me. Can't wait to see you.
All right.
It'll be great.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you listen to the next one too. In the meantime, our wish for you is to not have to shoot any Friday night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.